The other things that the desktop drives and notebook drives are not designed for is attachment to a RAID controller. So there is a time-limited error recovery, or TLER, function that's built into the enterprise drives, both the nearline and the mission critical, that make them work better with a RAID controller. What you can do is, if you end up with desktop drives in that same environment, you can end up with false rebuilds, where the drive is really out there trying to do some error correction. The RAID controller thinks that the drive's gone away, starts a array rebuild, and you end up with all the time and a lost productivity of a RAID rebuild.
Wow.
Entering into the picture. So there's all kinds of factors to consider there. So
the bottom line is the customer should just
right. We've
step up and pay the extra money, and it's definitely worth the cost involved.
Right. We've had multiple cases where customers, they were looking at using just short-term storage.
Sure.
So they would set up an array of desktop drives, and one of the things that was attractive in that case is they could get more capacity on each drive if they use a desktop drive.
Oh yeah.
And so they insisted on doing that, so we set them up with that, and even during the short periods where they were writing data out to this array, they had so many failures that after several attempts they eventually gave up.
And they switched to enterprise drives.
Switched to enterprise drives. Now, one of the things you'll hear about is some of the big storage, big data folks out there using desktop drives.
Yes.
But what you'll find out is their chassis are specially designed. There's extra cost built into the chassis to isolate each drive from rotational vibrations of adjacent fans or adjacent drives. Also, there's planned obsolescence in those drives. They plan on
much shorter life
cycle. They also build in a lot of redundancy into their data centers, where they're doing something like a Hadoop or something like that,
right,
where that data is located out in multiple redundant locations within the building or within the whole wide area network or something like that. So if you look at that, there's extra costs there.
The bottom line is, yes, there might be reasons that they use desktop drives in that way, but it's not necessarily a cost thing, because what they're saving on the hard drives, they're paying for a lot more
Oftentimes,
in higher-end chassis and additional infrastructure costs that are involved in that. So that gives me a lot to think about and a lot to discuss with my customers. So is there anything else on this topic that you think we haven't covered that we should? Yeah,
one of the other things that is out there, especially in the nearline and enterprise areas, you won't see it in the desktop, is the SATA versus SAS.
Yes, yes, that's.
And
I always wonder about that. I know it's got the extra control, or for the redundancy, but.
Right. Well, the SATA basically it duplicates the ATA. It's serial ATA. Is what it is. ATA has been used for years in the desktop.
Parallel IDE.
Exactly. That very similar to that. The SAS, or serial attached SCSI, implements that whole very complex, very robust, very reliable architecture that SCSI has.
Certainly.
And that's one of the reasons that SAS drives can cost more. Now you've got to look out. There's multiple levels of SAS.
Certainly, and they use the same cable as the SATA drives.
They can use the same cable, but again, you're looking at, if there's a cost difference at the same capacity.
Right, because some SAS drives are about the same price as a SATA drive.
Exactly. What they've got is a SAS connector, but they don't have all the air checking capabilities. They've got that SAS protocol.
Okay.
But they don't have all the air checking capabilities that a mission critical SAS drive would.
Okay.
So it's you pay for what you get.
Absolutely. So customers pay more money and be happy with that deal. We have a much better experience, right?
You've got other things too built into some of the enterprise SAS drives, or is the dual porting, that kind of thing.
That's
which is not. It doesn't exist at all in the SATA drives.
And that's what I was thinking, redundancy. What does that do?
Well, what that does is gives you the ability to move from one RAID controller to another.
Okay.
So you could literally do a failover.
And that's more for just complete redundancy, the backup, you know, if all of a sudden your RAID card fails, you can automatically switch over to another RAID card. And
plus the other thing is you're very limited on the distance that your SATA cables can travel. And but with SAS, you can actually move the cables outside of the chassis. So you can go from a server to a JBOD, just a bunch of drives.
And you can't do that with the SATA?
No, very limited travel distances. They're just not the architectures of them were never designed for long distance travel.
Okay.
So that's and hopefully that helps give some clarity to why there is a difference in cost and performance and reliability.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, no, Dom, I really appreciate you explaining this to me, and hopefully I'll be able to explain it to my customers as eloquently as you did. So.
Well, we're here to help. So.
Absolutely, and if there's ever anything we can do for you, once again, my name is Todd Swank, Vice President of Marketing at Nortech. I'm here today with Dom Daninger, Vice President of Engineering for Nortech, and check us out at www.nortech.com. That's NOR-TECH. Thank you so much, and have a great day.